Alright folks, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dave and I'm shocked that so many people are subscribing to this channel, and I thank you for that. We're waiting for YouTube to decide when I will be monetized. I may throw up a link to my Patreon, which is actually for my music channel. So if you end up giving me like $1 a month or something, it's going to come up as Dave is talking about music, because that's my other channel. I got like 21,000 subscribers over there, and a lot of patrons who like the content that I do over there. But I'm figuring the best way to maybe, get some revenue or some monetary support would be to do that. So look for a link. I hopefully will remember to post it or link it. Throw a link in at the top. It'll say music stuff, but don't be afraid. It is me. I want to talk about sort of this infighting that's going on. People have said to me, hey, you need to subscribe to this guy and that guy. You'll get great content from this. And I do. I've gotten a lot of great content from independent media, and I've mentioned names like Kim Iverson. I think she's one of the best, because I think Kim gets the language dilemma that we have right now, and she seems to be really sharp and focused on what she's doing. Her content is very professional and uplifting for the most part. She's not doing a lot of backbiting between her and other people, which I think is good. Now, by the way, I'm not saying people can do videos about whatever they want. But if you want Tulsi Gabbard to be your president, you should be kind of focusing on Tulsi, number one. And number two, there's already enough stuff happening around us in real time, especially in the area of foreign policy. And then you've got Tulsi is a legislator, so she's always talking about legislation that she's co-sponsoring or filing herself. And she's doing a lot of good things. She's going after, like, Monsanto. I mean, I know there are people on the right, by the way, who hated Monsanto, thank God. They tended to be the more libertarian-minded people. But I remember reading about Monsanto and then going, I'm sorry, I'm for the free market, but these guys need to be shut down. I'm sorry. They need to be sued out of existence. In any event, those are the kind of issues that I think we ought to focus on. And is it entertaining for you to go after, say, me or somebody who's, making statements and saying, well, this guy's a fraud, he's not a real progressive, and this other guy, he doesn't litmus test well, and, this, I guess everybody's spending a lot of time on the TYT Gang, and I can see why. Because they seem like they're corporatist media light, and they're getting a lot of funding and so forth, and they may not be that interested in seeing Tulsi Gabbard become the president. They may want like a center-left person who does enough of the wedge issues, you know what I mean? And I hate wedge issues. I've already been over this. And if we get one of those, I mean, there's nowhere for me to go at that point. There's just, it'd be another party, or just watch it and just be dismayed, because we're going to go from a guy who is brazen and, I was going to say bold, but bold is kind of a positive word. He's blunt, he's brazen, he doesn't care, he's a bull in a china shop, and he doesn't care what he knocks over. Tulsi Gabbard is the opposite. She wants to bring people together, and she has a plan to do that, and she has the skill set to do that. What attracts me to her is her youth, her energy, her passion on issues. I could go on and on. She's a real person. I mean, watch her speak. This is the thing that's mind-boggling. Now, if you want to critique the media who is blacking her out, all right, because they are. I mean, it's astonishing when she makes a speech or a campaign appearance. It's independent media who's covering it, and should be covering it even more, and should be saying, hey, did you hear what Tulsi said about this? Instead, we get, well, I was watching this guy critiquing this other guy, and I'm just like, dude, you already kind of made the point about this, or we're kind of wasting time. You know, there's not a lot of us out here, and I think I'm the only one. I think that's why there are people coming over to this channel, because apparently there are a bunch of people who may have voted for Trump, or may have not voted, or I don't know, just maybe share some of my more conservative beliefs, but understand that things are getting dire. And like I think I said in one video, people wake up angry every morning about their government. Whether they're just angry that Donald Trump is president, which, by the way, there's some unhealthiness there where you're just waking up mad because Trump is the president. All right? If you don't like Donald Trump, I get that. But you should be focused more on Donald Trump's policies. For me, again, it's foreign policy. He just let go of the wheel and said, here you go, John Bolton. Here you go, Mike Pompeo. And that's, for me, that's what got me to come to the dark side. Because then I've got to listen to progressives talking about Medicare for all and a lot of things that I'm like, really? But then I've been educated. I've listened to a lot of the arguments, and the arguments make sense. One person rightly said, well, if you just included everybody in Medicare and, you know, you had younger people paying into it and so forth, they're not getting sick as much. So they're going to help support the older people. Then, of course, you have this other argument that is, we're paying for it anyway. All of us are having, who work, get taxed and payroll deducted or whatever. So we're already paying, you know, Social Security, FICA, all that stuff. So even if you bumped it up a little bit, you know, most people would say, yeah, for, you know, guaranteed health care or health insurance, more or less. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. See, and yeah, I know the free market and insurance companies, and the insurance companies don't want to pay premiums. Okay, they don't want to pay. They want to find a way not to pay. Or not premiums, but what's the word? It eludes me. Just when you have a claim, they don't want to pay the claim. Car insurance companies don't want to do it. We had a hurricane down here where I live a couple of years ago, year and a half ago, and people are still fighting to get, you know, their claims from insurance companies, and they pay all this money each month for insurance. So, long tangent there. Let's get back to the focus, which is really about talking more about Tulsi Gabbard, about her ideas, her policies, and relating those things that are happening in real time to her candidacy. Whether it be, you know, the stuff with Monsanto, whether it be a campaign finance reform, whether that be, there's so many issues. There's so many issues. Marijuana, which she wants to stop the federal prohibition against, which I'm for. And most conservatives, by the way, are fine with that. There are some that are holding on to the fact that it's an evil drug and so forth. But yet, you know, opioids are the problem, and everybody knows that. And then this is like pain management for a lot of people. At least from a medicinal standpoint, you should open that up very quickly to people who need it. We just had it here in Florida, and it's shocking. I mean, the drug companies have to be going out of their minds right now because this stuff is helping people, and it's a lot cheaper than a prescription from what I understand. So these are issues you can talk about in real time. And I understand this whole movement is kind of new to me. So I'm watching, you know, I checked this guy. He's got a new video out, and it's about some other person who's saying this about that other person, and I can't follow it. I'm not into soap operas anymore. I mean, some of it, the other channel I have, I do more soap opera stuff, but that's about musicians, okay? This is about our future as a country. This is the government. This is who we elect as president, who is representing us. It shows our values. The president of the United States shows what kind of values we have as a country. And this is a great argument. You've got Donald Trump, who, I guess people didn't want anybody in office who was going to empathize with people and try to understand the other side of everything. Supposedly he was a great listener when he was running his own business and so forth, but I've seen no evidence of that so far. And you need a president who you can look up to, and Tulsi Gabbard is that president now, or will be that president. So that's my video. I've just noticed that there's a lot of kind of useless infighting, and these people have way more talent than I do. I'm just going to throw that out there. They're more talented, they're more informed, they know intricacies on issues that I'm just scratching the surface on some of these things that I'm learning about. But I'm thinking, dude, or dudette, don't waste your talent just bashing some other guy, because in the end, we've got to elect a president, and the more of us who just go forward and do it in a positive way, I think it's going to be more beneficial for Tulsi Gabbard and for the credibility of what you believe. All right, so that's it. See you soon, everybody.